Hi, my friends. How are you? I have a super fun guest on today. She has a bunch to talk about, as well as her insights about perimenopause and menopause. So, welcome, Zuzu. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, my pleasure. So I know that you have your own journey and your own transformation as far as your health journey, but why don't we start with just somebody like you just telling us what's going on right now with you and what you do right at the moment, and then we'll get into your journey.
You betcha. So my name is Karen Arms, and I go by Zuzu. That's my nickname. Thank goodness I have one after what they did to the name Karen. But anyhow, and I own Holistic Health Educators, which is an online platform for education. We actually certify students worldwide, over 100, well, 100 different languages. And so that's what we do. I've been working on educating others and helping others for decades. And I've had a couple wellness clinics and cafes and grocery stores. And right now I have a wellness center and a 67 acre retreat center down here in Georgia. So I definitely stay out of trouble. My daughter Amy helps me with everything. Amy's, a co-founder of Holistic Health Educators. I had owned it like her whole life. She grew up. All my kids did, in natural health because that's what they saw. That's we ran a health food store and we had a cafe and a grocery store and it was like what we did, wellness centers. And so it was fun because then she's like, I'm going to get into public health, mom, because that's what we do. And I was like, I don't think it's going to be the same at Johns Hopkins as it is here at your house, in our wellness. And it wasn't. And so like 17 letters later, I mean, she graduated, very high grades, everything, but she's like, they are so out of touch with reality. I'm like, yes, they are. So it's definitely been interesting because she grew up in our world, and I love science, and I'm a physicist, and we talk about all sorts of fun, great, great, amazing things. Then she goes to the best medical school in the world. They don't even talk about how to clean out the lymphatic system. So she was like, so it's been a real joy having her with me because she's super fun. You can see her all over social media. And then we started doing, we just started doing podcasts. And I actually, all these years that I've been doing so many big things, I just put it all into one website. So the website's still brand new. I have like 200 followers on Facebook, like 800 on Instagram, whatever, because it just came out. But that's Zuzu Unleashed. But I'm on 3 to 4 podcasts sometimes a day. We're opening our podcast back up again. So we just like sharing, and that's why I'm so glad that you let me come on because I'm like, if there's anything I can help your ladies with or you with, like count me in because I'm 58. I don't gotta like I can do that now. I can just help share. That's what we want to do. So.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. I think that sharing our stories is what really helps each other, makes us feel less alone, lets us learn and grow from each other. And for me, that's the purpose of my life. So I appreciate that.
Well, and you're so sweet.
Um,
Your episodes are so sweet. You're such a nice human being. So people must love you.
oh, thank you. So I know that you went through a big transformation in your health journey. Can you tell us about that? Because I think that's really important.
Sure. Well, it's so weird. Like when I filled out all my paperwork for the podcasting, I never imagined I'd be sharing my own story all the time. I think I've shared it 150 times in the last month and a half, right? But I did. I had epilepsy growing up, but it was just what I had. I had epilepsy, and so I'd have seizures. I was on medications, but when I was going to get married, I was like, after I got married, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to be pregnant and be on medications. And so I just started like reading books because I'm old and that's what you did. I'm not old, but like we didn't have the World Wide Web. We didn't have flip phones or anything like that. There was no Ask Zuzu. There was just to simply go read a book. So I read a lot of books and was able to really go down the road of using food, and that's all I use to reverse my epilepsy. And now that I am a professional, this is what I do for a living. I've helped lots of people get rid of epilepsy and seizures and all that. Is it's a GABA deficiency, and that so it's really cool because I look back at what I felt and what I was driven to eat, and they're all foods that like enrich your GABA, like they build your GABA. So I'm like, this is so cool, anyhow. So I had that, and then I had scoliosis. My back always had, a couple of weird issues with it. And I had an x-ray, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, because I was in so much pain all the time. And boom, boom, boom. And I was like, oh my gosh, well, now I got scoliosis. What am I supposed to do about that? I was like, well, I'll have to reverse that too. So I did. In 18 months, it was gone. And we have the before and the after pictures. And I'm like, it's just so cool that it's cool because it's possible. And I think that's the part that after reversing the epilepsy was like, no, wait a minute, what else aren't they telling anybody else? Oh, you want to get rid of high blood pressure? That's easy. Oh, you want to get rid of that narcolepsy? Okay, we can work on that. So it was just study, 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 someone in the family got cancer and more, in my family, not my children thing, but in my other, and with my family. And I was like, okay, so study, study, study on that. It was just awesome. I love learning. And so now I love sharing. So it's been a really neat journey. And then I know that arthritis was in there too. So the scoliosis I reversed using myofascia work. So people who, if you don't know what myofascia work is, it's different than massage. You can, and you may find a massage artist who's trained in myofascia, but myofascia is that thin white covering all over your chicken when you're taking your chicken apart, you're deboning your chicken. Well, you have it. Actually, if you got rid of your fascia, you'd be a puddle on the ground. So fascia is literally what keeps it's around every organ. Every cell has fascia around it. Our whole body is just covered in fascia, and that can get really tight. And so even though you're working a muscle, if the fascia isn't released, that's half the battle. And so I did myofascia work, and it's not pleasant. I'm telling you right now, find yourself an angel of pain and just suck it up if you want to get rid of it. If you want, like, it was awful, but I was able to get rid of the art. I did that 18 months. I went every single week. I did chiropractor, and then I did a few acupuncture treatments right towards the end, and boom, went in for the x-ray, and that was cool. And then there was some arthritis around that, but I got rid of that in a few months. So it was really cool. That was my quick journey, but
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It's interesting. It reminds me that I have Crohn's disease. It's pretty much under control right now. But when I first got it in my early 20s, I went on a bunch of medication for it, like a bunch of medication, had an operation, a bunch more medication. But that medication then led me to, other things such as getting a bunch of skin cancer and things like that. And finally I'm like, I can't even take it anymore. And what really helped my Crohn's was regulating my nervous system. Like that was such a huge part of it. I'm like, oh, if I lower my stress and I breathe, my Crohn's is better. Like, okay.
yeah, good for you. Yeah, Crohn's, and it's funny because I've helped people with Crohn's for decades. And when I moved here to the point when we found our place that we opened up our retreat center, I traveled all of 22 looking forward to open up the retreat center. So when I pulled in the driveway, God was like, "This is it." So we're here, we're settled. And I thought I'd get to know the neighbors, right? So we're getting to know the neighbors, and I'm holding all these classes, and I hold a class on eliminating Crohn's and colitis because you can, right? And this surgeon jumped on Facebook, like just railing me through the curtains. There's no possible way to treat Crohn's naturally, and blah, blah, blah. You can't reverse it. You can't this, you can't that. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I've been doing this for a long time. I don't know if he knows that there are answers. And so I'm so proud of you for doing that because you can.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've shared it with how many people that it is. And the nervous system such a big role in it. So kudos to you. That's awesome. Awesome.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
I will give kudos to my doctor too, because he did say at the time, he's like, have you ever thought about letting your emotions out more? I'm like, okay.
Well, think about it. Feeling stuck is the
Yeah.
common, right? So like when people they feel like they're stuck in a relationship or stuck in a job or stuck with their mother or stuck with something, mother as in taking care of her. But anyhow, like that can lead to a lot of issues. And so I'm so proud of him. Way to go, Mr. Doctor. That
I
was
know, right?
fantastic.
Yeah, he's very handsome too. So
A handsome teacher. You're not married to him yet, are you? Are you married to him?
no, yeah, no, 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 no. So, tell me about your retreat center. That has to do with your education part too, right? I wish I lived closer to you because it just sounds so amazing.
Oh, it's so fun. Please come in. And you can always like have a retreat here with your people. But it's, my dream. I had all these retreats. I started doing retreats in 2008, hosting those, a few of them a year. And we always did all the food and the detoxing and then education, super fun, really wonderful. The food was always amazing. I love being in the kitchen, and it's all plant-based. Like people are just blown away that they don't touch an animal. They're blown away because it tastes so good, even the men. And so, but I always wanted that center, like for my students. So holistic health educators, we have students all over the world, and either they're learning for their family or they're learning to become a practitioner, right? And so, but we wanted a retreat place that they could come to, as well as people who are sick. And so, like right now, we're in the middle of one of our retreats. We have an 8 to 10 day retreat once a month, sometimes twice a month, and people come from all over the world, and they'll come and we just, it's food. Like they're eating this way. They are detoxifying. They're using the hyperbaric chamber and the sauna and on the EMS zero and all of, we do traditional Chinese medicine, massage every day, lymphatic work, depending on what they're doing with their body. If they, like our weight loss retreats are pretty intensive, and then they're literally in a massage and myofascia for hours a day. And then we have all the, biomass and thermal therapy and brain tap and red lights. And, we have our own labs. We can do their blood work and their urine analysis. And we do ultrasounds and thermal imaging. So we kind of bring all of that together during a retreat so that we can get an idea of what's going on in the body. And then I'll run some scans on them myself, and a bunch of us will meet together and kind of put together a protocol for people and help them, understand what they're going. I never know if I should look at the camera, if I should look at you. So if my eyes are all over, I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my word. But anyhow, I want to connect with the audience just as much. So anyhow,
I feel you.
so yeah, it's really neat. And then we also do regular like, oh my gosh, I'm in the Bible Belt for sure. So there's like all these churches out here, like every corner there's a church. I came from Wisconsin, where there's a bar in every corner. So very, very different, completely different. But I love them both. I sure love Wisconsin. I don't drink, but oh my gosh, the people there are so much fun. So if you're watching from Wisconsin, I still love all of you. I love your guts, man. But down here, it's fun because we'll have different church retreats. And some of these churches I've never seen before. So like, I'll come in and they're like, because they rent the center, and they'll be talking like I can't understand them and stuff. And I'm like, oh, so it's always great because we have so much spirit here. Everyone's just happy
Yeah.
and singing. And so we'll have the church retreats, we'll have our student retreats, we'll have the clinical retreats, really just, and we really want to we want to build a really big center that hosts 80 people that can stay there. So that's what we really want to do. So we're just step by step. We got to get the gardens in and,
Yeah.
thing rolling. So
And I love that they leave with like a protocol. Does that mean they have like
yeah,
some tools in place that they can use
yeah,
and
yeah,
follow?
yeah, yeah. I mean, we're really food based because people don't realize, like, I teach presentations on eat your hormones, but it literally is eat the food that's going to help your endocrine make testosterone. And like for perimenopause ladies, I have so much I can share with you, but you can literally eat the foods that help you retain that and maintain a healthy level. You don't need to go on to HRT. You don't even need to take hormones. I don't take any. I'm 58. My hormones are balanced. I went through menopause, didn't even know it, but I live this way. I
Yeah.
live this lifestyle, right? But I'm just saying, if you have younger people in your life or younger people you work with, oh honey, get your girls doing my lifestyle because they'll go through menopause, they don't even know it. I lubricate beautifully. Sorry, we talk about sex when we're talking about perimenopause, ladies, but like I don't have those issues because of the things I can share with you, but because of the lifestyle. And that's what we send people home with from the retreat, Amber, is we send them home with like knowledge of how to change your lives, and that they've done it for 7 or 10 days. They're like, they can't go back, like literally. We've had men come to retreats because their women like drag them. They're my biggest advocates now because they're telling all their buddies to come, and I'm like, it's okay. So I think if people just get immersed into it, and I honestly thought it would be they would just love all the equipment and being doted on every day, all day at the wellness center and doing foot baths and doing this and doing that. Right? I thought that would be the biggest takeaway. And time again, at the end, when we all round together, we're like, what is your favorite part? The food, because they're like, we didn't know we could eat that way and feel phenomenal. And our bowel movements are incredible. We have energy. Our skin's already better. All of them lose weight within days.
Yeah.
And it's just literally eating as their body was designed to eat. And so it's really rewarding. We love it.
That's great. So, for my women out there that are going through perimenopause and menopause, definitely food plays a huge part. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that, and then maybe like one or two other things that you think are key to helping them.
Yeah, sure. Well, one of the main things that I is eating clean. So if you think of your body as a machine, when there are toxins in the body has a lot of cleanup to do. I'm looking for something. When you started talking, I'm like, wait a minute, I have some information I could drop in the chat that you could share, but I can send it right when we're done. So I'll do that instead. But anyhow, and so if our white blood cells are so busy getting rid of parasites and candida and cancer cells and everything else that they're supposed to do, That's where the energy goes. So think in your own life where focus goes, energy flows, right? And so if your white blood cells are like, we're focused, we're going to take everything down, every invader that's in here, right? And they're like, focus, right? And you keep eating bacon, so you keep getting more parasites because you will 1000% every time you eat bacon get a parasite. You can't not get parasites from sushi or bacon. 100% of the time you are going to have them and they don't come out because they don't come out of bacon. And so if you're always eating things that are putting stress and distress on your white blood cells, that is taking your immune system away from fighting off anything new that you might be dealing with. Now, I know perimenopause is not a fight, but this is how the body works. If we are needing all of our reserves to make sure the white blood cells maintain the proper potential of hydrogen and health that they can conquer the parasites and the candida and the cancer, that's taking nutrients away from your body, trying to create more hormones to help you balance yourself through perimenopause. I hope that makes sense. So, like, that's why we preach toxin removal as you're going through menopause and perimenopause, because then it gives your body more strength to do what you are designed naturally to do. Naturally, you're designed to lose a little bit of that estrogen and lose a little bit of that the progesterone and the testosterone. Not much. You don't lose all of it. Hello, you're gonna have a sex drive and you're gonna be making love to your 120, right? Rock on, right? Where's my button? I love my that was easy button. But anyhow, so like I use that all the time. When I speak on stage, I mic it. But anyhow, but and so removing toxins from your life is like number one. And toxins doesn't mean your Skittles and your Snickers and all that crap, right? Hello, if you can't pronounce it, don't put it in your body. Like, what is your body supposed to do with that? Right. And then honestly, it gets harder to lose weight as you get older, ladies, right? And so if we don't, the number one way to detoxify is don't put toxins in. So if we skip the Snickers bar and okay, confession. Do you want to know what's in my freezer? This is what's in my freezer. So I make the best damn pumpkin pie you have ever had, honey. And it is gluten-free and there's no sugar in it. There's a little bit of maple syrup and it is phenomenal. Okay. So like literally, I baked all these pumpkin pies for the holidays and I cut them in pieces and I put them in the freezer. And then if Karen's ever like, I just need a little something, it's a pumpkin pie. Like, I don't gotta go get Skittles or anything else, you know? And so, but like, be prepared for when you are going to want a little snippy snip or something, and then find what satisfies you without going into the toxic world, because you don't need anything toxin. And that's the fun stuff if you come to a retreat, because you'll eat this way every meal we will make for you. It is so much fun for people to realize that. So number one for going through perimenopause and menopause is clean up the diet. You want to anyways, because all that extra crap you're eating is going to go right in your adipose tissue. And then boom, 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 we're building our bodies, but not the right way. So just get rid of it. Obviously, you probably on this channel talk about broccoli sprouts like every day of your life, but broccoli, 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 broccoli sprouts, steamed broccoli, raw broccoli, cooked, white broccoli, whatever you can do with broccoli, eat it and eat a lot of it. And the broccoli sprouts themselves, phenomenal. Like, oh my gosh. Oh, by the way, get rid of cancer while you're at it, right? And all the other infections in your body, because broccoli is a crazy superfood. So I would definitely recommend broccoli. If you didn't get that from my rampage on broccoli. I love it, love it. And then water, obviously water, and the nervous system plays a really big role. If you think of these words, testosterone, right? Estrogen, these are all what? These are endocrine glands making hormones. Those are hormones from endocrine glands. So that's important. So you can always take like a glandular, some kind of endocrine gland enhancer. We have some great things that can help with your endocrine glands. However, what people don't realize, and I preach this on almost every show I'm on, is that the endocrine system is actually run by the nervous system. So if you're going to an endocrinologist because you're going through perimenopause, stop. Just stop. Like, stop. Like, you don't have to go there. I mean, you can if you want. I'm not your medical doctor. I'm just entertainment, right? But anyhow, but like, go to your neurologist, or don't even go there. You can do this at home. But like, go to holistichealtheducators.com and go into the blog and put nervous system. And you'll get 2 one-hour programs that all you need to do is listen to it, and you'll know how to reverse all nervous system disorders for the rest of your life. It's not that hard. It's just not that hard to understand the body. It isn't. You make more pharmaceuticals in your body, more chemicals that can be used than you could ever buy
Mhm.
at any place. Your body makes so many chemicals you're completely unaware of, but they can't make those chemicals if the nervous system is not working and if you don't have the building parts. It's like if you're going to build a house and you get all the lumber and all the trusses and everything's delivered and you just kind of forgot the nails and the screws. Oh, well, good luck. It's going to take you forever because you got to sit there and cut out and notch the whole thing. It's like you need the building blocks and the minerals and vitamins that are needed to build the hormones are vital. Like if you don't have enough iodine, you'll never make T4 and you will always be on thyroid medicine. You can get off of your thyroid medication. My gosh, we've helped thousands, right? You can. You're just iodine deficient. Most likely you're tyrosine deficient as well. And tyrosine is made of, minerals and vitamins that you need. So like all of a sudden you look at a whole food and you're like, wow, that is going to like my drink, right? This is like 3 or 4 different teas on some sparkly water because I love sparkles. But anyhow, and I know that what's in there is actually going to also benefit me. I don't get nervous when I drink that and be like, oh, I shouldn't be drinking more of that. And I can drink that until the cows come home. Everything that goes in your body is going to give you energy or take energy. It's going to
Mhm.
make you well or make you sick. 100% of the time, everything you ever eat or drink or put on your skin is going to make you well or make you sick. And so by removing toxins and filling the body with a bunch of plant food, your whole life can change. And you'll see that if you all go and get some broccoli and broccoli sprouts and some cauliflower and avocados, and you're eating them every single day, right? And you're eating some carrots. Number one, your teeth are going to improve, which will improve most of your health because your teeth are very related to everything in the body. But because you're going to be crunching instead of leaving it all cooked. But you're going to watch your health improve. You're going to have more energy by day 4 than you have right now. I can guarantee that. Like you can't not have energy if you're eating raw vegetables. You can't. And if you're all worried about estrogens and you want to avoid uh, some of your cauliflower and cabbage, that's also something you can overcome. Plants are never the enemy. If you have leaky gut, then you're going to have a problem with some of those vegetables. So you can always start small and do peas and lettuce and carrots and what is that, like cucumbers. If you're getting into the plants for the first time, then do more of your lettuce and your greens and whatnot. But anyhow, so I would really encourage a lot more plant-based eating and really healthy oils because oils are the slippery slide of the nervous system. This is my new thing. Are you ready, Amber? Okay.
Mhm.
This is your nervous system.
Mhm.
You might think it's a pen, but this is myelin sheath, and that little black ink is your nerve. The myelin sheath is made out of fat, period.
Mhm.
Whatever fat you ate today is making the myelin sheath for your nervous system. The nerves that are zinging through that, and that's how I reverse my epilepsy, increasing the myelin sheath with healthy fats, and then increasing the firing of the nervous system. That's how it works. It's that easy. 2 things to know. Healthy oils build the myelin sheath. Sugars destroy it. Sugars eat the myelin sheath, completely eats that myelin sheath. And then the nerve doesn't have the strength to go through and it gets sick and then get to your chiropractor. So the last thing I wanted to mention about that is getting to your chiropractor because that nervous system, your brain, right, your breaker box with those 32 sets of nerves that come down the spinal column and they go out to all the organs, glands, and tissues. If there's a subluxation in your spine, then you can't repair that. Oh my gosh, I just did a scan on a woman who had a double mastectomy
Mhm.
and she had no idea. She's like, I don't even know where the cancer came from. Boom, boom. Do you know what I found when I did the scan? Her nerves to her breasts were completely subluxed. I
Oh, wow.
put her and she already had the mastectomy, has an implant, right? I took her to the chiropractor the next day. I'm like, here, fix this. Like, we'll be back on Monday. Because like she needs to go in on a regular basis right now because the breasts are never going to heal. The inflammation is not going to go away until we can get rid of that subluxation. So just think nerves and think health and building
Yeah.
blocks when you're thinking menopause and perimenopause.
And what kind of healthy oils do you think are the best?
I have essential oils that I recommend for perimenopause. We can talk about that in a minute. But the oils for your body, 100% hands down, extra virgin cold pressed olive oil. One of the best oils you can ever, I mean, take tablespoons of it a day. It is amazing. You are building your nervous system, eating raw avocados, not avocado oil. Raw avocados, phenomenal. Start with 1/2 a day. But get your healthy oils, walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, and hemp seeds. Those are all phenomenal omega 3s. Most people have way too much omega 6 and not enough omega 3. And I actually sell this oil. It's from Zinzino, which is like an MLM, whatever. I just love the oil. That's all I ever buy from them. But they have this cool test, and that's what I love. They have this balance test. And just reach out. I don't have anything to do with it. I have one of my ladies who does it if people are interested. But the test I love because you can take a little prick of your finger and you can send it to Norway and you get a result back with what your omega 6s and your omega 3s are. Amazing. And then they will actually give you a free test if for 4 months you take their oil. It has changed probably millions of lives by this point. It's really cool because I didn't realize I knew from my clients that so many people were low in omega 3s, like almost everyone I've ever tested. But when I saw the graph through their website, they can show you every country in the world and what the test results show. They don't show names, so don't worry. But like America, we're like our average is like 28 or 42 omega 6s or 32, sorry, to one omega 3. That's terrible. You should be 3 to 1, right? And so it's really interesting how oil can affect our lives. And if you have anybody, ADD, ADHD, any of that, any kind of nervous system disorder, get them on good oils for sure.
Mm, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said essential oils. Yeah.
Well, for perimenopause, I love the essential oils. I have an insane way too many of them, but I love the Lang Lang. Obviously, Lang Lang is wonderful for perimenopause. Lavender is really really great. Clary sage, those three, bergamot. So you can combine those in an oil. I have oils in a 4 ounce pump bottle and
Yep.
I put them on my breasts. My breasts are fine. I don't have any. I go for thermal imaging every year.
Mhm.
I encourage most people to do thermal imaging. You could do the whole body as well. Just don't do mammograms. Oh my gosh, get over that. They're terrible. Anyhow, and so, I'm sorry if you're a nurse. I
I had my first thermal imaging today,
Oh
actually.
my gosh, this is
Yeah.
you're right. Yay. Okay, good, 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 good. Well, that's the way because you can see in 7 to 10 years earlier with thermal
Yeah.
imaging. For those of you not watching, thermal imaging is all they ever did until
Hmm.
a mammogram was invented. And then the mammograms came out, and everyone's complaining about them, of course, because you're smushing a breast, and if you have cancer, where you think the cancer is going to go? Hello,
Yeah.
this is such common sense. But anyhow, but the problem, and it will, I've written books on this, you guys. Every mammogram you ever have increases your breast cancer by 3%. I
Mm.
had a lady come in to see me who had 10 mammograms in a week. That is a 30% increase of her likelihood of her having breast cancer. And guess what? So just don't always believe what you're told, but
Mm.
it really does great. So I'm really proud of you for doing that. That's awesome.
Good.
Get your friends doing it with you
Yeah.
because really people just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, it's interesting in my state in Vermont, they now insurance just accepted it this year. So
It's
it's
great.
just new. So yeah, before that you had to pay for it yourself. So that's one
Well,
good thing. Insurance isn't always great, but that is one small improvement for women.
that's a big improvement. And I
Yeah.
always I love the VA because they're like so much further advanced than everybody. They're like, they'll cover essential oils, they'll cover, chiropractic. They do so much more. And so that
Right.
you guys, insurance companies are everything. So if
Mhm.
you are like, oh, my insurance company doesn't cover that, switch insurance companies, start looking because when the doctor pulls out the paper before he comes in to see you, he's not
Yeah.
looking to see what's wrong with you. He's looking at your insurance company because he or she has signed a document that assures the insurance company they will never recommend something that insurance doesn't cover, which means if both Amber and I go to the doctor and we get a thyroid test done, my thyroid test might not cover free T4, but Amber's will because hers is fancy dancy insurance that covers thermal imaging. And so all of a sudden we have different results because our insurance companies are different. So please,
Yeah.
please, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Great. So, one question I always ask people on this podcast is now that you're in this season and you're already through menopause, but like when you were going through perimenopause and menopause, what is something that you found that you actually enjoyed that you didn't think that you were going to enjoy?
Ugh, I'm so sorry I didn't go through. I mean, I went through it, but I
I
didn't
know.
do anything. I know.
You enjoyed not having it.
I enjoyed not having it. There we go. You know what? I enjoyed knowing because it was 40 years ago this year that I had my first green drink and then I got into natural health. 40 years. And I remember when I was young and sassy, being 20 some years old, right? And thinking I was just, oh, that I never thought that, but I'm just playing it up. But when I was younger, I thought, you know what? I'm going to live this lifestyle. And then when I'm old,
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to say, hey, this works. And I forgot about that until a couple of weeks ago. I was thinking about when did I get into this? That was when I was 18. I was like, oh my gosh, that was 40 years ago. And I then I, it hit me. I was like, oh, wait a minute, it does work. So that's why that was my thing that I enjoyed going through perimenopause and menopause was being able to stand there and go, this works, ladies. If you want to avoid having any of those issues and getting on hormones and all the things you hear about from all the women you talk with, you don't need to worry about any of it if you go back to plants. Because when you have minerals and vitamins and biophotons, right, you have what you need to build everything that your body makes. And then you don't go through as part of a time. So sorry, I hope that was like okay, but
No, yeah, that's perfect. So I have a question for you. I told you I live up here in Vermont and it's winter a lot of the time. So our growing season's very short. Our fresh vegetables are very short. So for the rest of the year, we are buying from like from California or from Florida or from like places. So that's where we're getting our fruits and vegetables from. Is
Mhm.
that okay? Better than nothing? Like, can you like, are we still
Yeah.
getting what we should be getting from them?
Yeah, I would. Well, I that is hard. And I lived in Wisconsin. That's where I raised my children. So very familiar with that. There's a couple things. You can do tower gardens in your home. So
Mm,
anybody who still has a window can be growing in their home all year. So
yeah.
don't just because you can't grow outside doesn't mean you can't get 5 or 6 tower gardens and be growing a ton of stuff right now. And
Yeah.
just eating sprouts every day can change your life. So just start sprouting. Have 3 or 4 different sprouts, always sprouting, and just eat a handful a day is going to bring you all I mean, it has all of your enzymes are in sprouts. And so by eating sprouts every day, you're going to be giving your body life. And then when you do buy the produce that you can't grow in your towers, get organic. And it's very important to get organic. Now, Azure Standard will deliver everywhere in America. So Azure is a co-op and that will deliver. There's also a co-op UNFI, United Foods, that will also deliver to different areas. So there's always co-ops available that you can order organic foods from as well. And go to your grocery stores and you can always buy cases. Get a case of organic cabbage because you can make half of it into sauerkraut super easy. And you can use cabbage every single morning for breakfast. Or we don't do breakfast, but like that 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, I love sauteed cabbage. It's one of my favorite things to eat in the morning. I'm a big produce until noon person. If you're going to eat anything before lunchtime, make it produce. And cabbage and shredded carrots, oh, it's just phenomenal in the morning with some olive oil and salt and pepper or whatever
Yeah.
seasoning. So go organic and try to buy cases because then it's fresh and you can split it with your friends. So if you get a case of organic apples can last you a very long time, especially when you're up there in Vermont where it's cold because you can put it in your basement or the garage and it won't freeze, but it'll stay cool. So like, I guess it's great. I just really avoid buying anything non-organic because of the pesticides and insecticides and herbicides and larvicides. So we do really strong, which all are designed to kill a living nervous system. So you
Yeah.
wouldn't want to put those in the body of your children and then expect them to not get ADD, ADHD, or have a problem with their nervous system. You just fed them food for the last 10 years that isn't organic, that is full of products that are designed to kill a living nervous system. So we do have to step back and reevaluate what we're willing to put our money into. And organic is just where you want to put your money, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. You want to do more organic and less conventional.
Yeah.
So that's what I would
Absolutely.
recommend.
Okay. Um, One last question I always ask everybody who comes on here too. How do you nurture yourself? And I know you do that through food, but what's maybe one other thing that you do on a daily basis, maybe a morning routine or something that you do to take care of yourself?
Yeah, that's a good question. My morning routine, I get up pretty early. I'm an early bird, so I go to bed earlier and I get up about 4, between 4 and 5, usually 4:30. And I actually go downstairs and I sit by my fireplace right now and I pop the fire on because it's gas. And I'll just catch up with a couple things if I'm reading. I've studied a lot in my life, and so there's certain things I'm really enjoying watching kind of pop up right now. I'll take maybe 25 minutes of that. But I actually go and turn the sauna on, and my husband and I sauna every single morning for an hour at 140 degrees, 145 degrees. So that's it every single morning. And we will often exercise before that. So we do a lot with, with exercising. That's just I use a lot of dumbbells, and we do We do a lot with exercise and then the sauna. That's my morning routine. I love it. And then because I get to spend time with my best friend, we're in the sauna. We usually watch a movie or a documentary and then we go on our day. So that's how I make sure that I'm nurtured and grounded. And oh my gosh, if we don't have that morning routine, I completely fall apart as a sister. Like dependent on it. So
That's awesome. Great.
yeah,
Well, thank you. I will definitely put all your websites and how to find you and your daughter in all the show notes. But thank you so much for coming on. You've been a true delight and so funny. I appreciate that.
you're welcome. Thank you for letting
Yeah.
me come on. And thanks for all you do for everybody. This is great.
All right. Well, thank you. And thank you for out there for listening. Definitely go look her up and make your next trip to Georgia because this sounds like an amazing place to be for sure.
They would
And
love
like I always says, choose yourself and I love you. All right.
it.